Shanghai, 2018 to 2025. We remember 2018 vividly, when the world collectively embraced a bright EV future. Tesla was hailed as the torchbearer, and we, an American firm expanding globally, stood at the leading edge of that wave, excited yet cautious. China was rising on massive manufacturing capacity and lightning-fast imitation, but it still lacked the core technology key to topple the incumbents. Beijing knew that to break through, it had to bring Elon Musk onto its home turf.
The unprecedented red carpet. What we saw was a near unheard-of incentive package. Long-term land use rights for the factory, low-interest loans, corporate tax cut to 15% 2019 to 2023, and exemption from the 10% purchase tax on all Teslas sold domestically. The decisive lever, Tesla became the first foreign automaker allowed to own a factory outright in China. No joint venture required, unlike prior US, Japanese, or European peers. Many foreign groups envied the treatment. We, both supplying and competing, admired it, but unease lingered. When the door opens that wide, are there invisible strings attached?
The sweet trap begins. Outwardly, favors. Inwardly, a two-sided equation. Consumers get EVs. The state gains technology access. In China, a win-win can coexist with a gilded cage.
Blistering acceleration 2019 to 2021. With doors open, Tesla entered the billion-strong market. In just 3 months, the Shanghai plant was completed. By year's end, China-made Model 3s rolled out. 2020, amid COVID-19, Shanghai ran at high speed, selling over 140,000 Model 3s, roughly 1/4 of nearly 500,000 global deliveries, a lifeline as the US slowed. 2021 saw a spectacular surge, 484,130 vehicles from Shanghai, 51.7% of global output. Over 160,000 were exported to 10+ countries in Europe and Asia. Across Chinese cities, Model 3 and Model Y became ubiquitous, icons of the rising middle class. Efficiency and localization in 2022. The plant hit optimal cadence. June alone saw some 78,900 units roll out. With over 90% localized components, costs fell, prices dropped, and head-to-head battles with BYD and NIO intensified. Crest of glory in 2023, Shanghai produced 974,000 units, over half of almost 1.8 million globally. In China alone, sales topped 600,000, nearly twice the US, that en prix difficulté nearly 259 toyen. Demand overshot forecasts, delivery time stretched. Elon Musk praised China as the future and thanked President Xi for the special conditions. Inflection, 2024-2025. In China, foreign glory is short-lived. By 2024, cracks appeared. May 2025, Tesla fell to 7th in CPCA's NEV ranking with 3.8% share. BYD dominated at 29.2%. First 2 months, Tesla China sold 93,926 units, including exports, down 28.7% year-over-year. Domestic over 60,000, down 14%. In contrast, BYD surged. Xiaomi, a newcomer, sold over 23,000 in February. Li Auto and Xpeng accelerated. The raise, cage, slaughter mechanism. From the outset, observers warned of a familiar script we'd long heard, now felt firsthand. Raise big, open the market, max incentives, while grooming domestic champions. EV purchase tax waivers in 2024 to 2025, saving around 30,000 RMB per car, partial extensions thereafter. Waivers on consumption and vehicle taxes, and stimulus worth hundreds of billions of RMB over more than a decade. Conditional subsidies. Domestic firms received capital in exchange for local batteries and parts. Around 20,000 RMB old car trade-in support. Special bonds doubled to around 300 billion RMB. Massive charging infrastructure toward more than 20 million EVs by 2025. R&D hubs got multi-million-dollar RMB grants. Government procurement set 30%, then 50% domestic EV quotas. Technical standards rose steadily, all under Made in China 2025 and dual circulation. Rulebook and data lock-ins. In May 2024, China mandated smart vehicle data localization, all data stored domestically. For Tesla and for us deploying platforms, this stung. Local data centers costing hundreds of millions of dollars, tight legal oversight, innovation constrained by local compliance. Domestic firms, by contrast, were already set up with infrastructure and relationship. Local-first user experience. Key zones like Beijing and Shanghai at times restricted or banned Teslas, citing data security, while domestic EVs moved freely. Digital UX gaps compounded Tesla's woes. No native WeChat, Alipay, Baidu Map, the digital lifelines in China. Product and service capability. As Tesla's OTAs trickled, BYD, NIO, and Xpeng turned cars into smartphones on wheels. Cadence. Tesla took 36 to 48 months per new model. Domestic players iterated in 12 to 18 months. 2023, BYD built over 300,000 BEVs in Q1 in China, launched 6 models head-on. The value, feature arsenal. BYD Dolphin around $16,000, 40% cheaper than Model 3, yet 400 kilometers range. Smart HVAC, 360-degree rotating display. BYD Seal, Model 3 rival, around $26,000, $5,000 less with air suspension. Phone as key control, in-house safety suite. Xpeng pushed XNGP, no HD maps, plus 480 kilowatt ultra-fast charging, 10 to 80% in 15 minutes. NIO played to emotions with Nomi, NIO House, and over 1,800 battery swap stations, around 3 minutes per swap. Service network, a critical choke point. Tesla had around 100 service centers across nearly 5 million square kilometers and over 300 county-level cities. Customers faced wait lists, higher prices. Over 60% resorted to third-party shops. Meanwhile, NIO offered mobile technicians and at-home scheduling. Li Auto provided 24/7 hotlines, localized live chat, flexible warranties, and personalized maintenance reminders. Global balance. With domestic EVs favored at home and facilitated abroad, competitive export pricing, the fight outside China tilted toward Chinese brands. In price-sensitive markets, consumers chose Chinese EVs with comparable tech at thousands less. Tesla's and, in some segments, our own global share came under squeeze. A recurring precedent. In Tesla, we saw echoes of Motorola. Capital and tech poured in to build China's telecom backbone, then Huawei and ZTE leapt ahead. Apple faced a localized ecosystem squeeze. Huawei, Xiaomi, Oppo, Vivo learned fast, launched feature-rich, low-cost products to dominate the market. Disputes were even politicized. The Shin Complex, Taiwan-Japan JV, was accused of corruption by a state group within 6 months of opening in 2007. The Taiwanese side withdrew entirely. A Taiwanese firm's IP case against TP-Link languished. Why do global giants still jump in? The bait is too rich. 1+ billion consumers, colossal demand, breathtaking growth, pressure to expand, FOMO, faith in promises, yet in China, policy can shift rapidly. In democracies, contracts are anchors. Here, they can become trapdoors. The toll on us. As a U.S. firm, we took hits directly. Investment plans restructured for data rules. Supply chains overdependent on local components, losing leverage. The local app ecosystem, WeChat, Alipay, and Baidu Map, kept our UX one beat behind. Costs were pressed by domestic subsidies. Rivals' product cadence was twice as fast. Lessons learned. 1. Don't let the growth peak become a lock point. The most favorable moment can be the highest policy risk. 2. Don't bet one basket. Diversify markets, data, and supply chains. 3. Localize for real. Beyond language, integrate deeply with digital ecosystems and after-sales. 4. Pre-bake legal playbooks for sudden shifts. 5. Speed is survival. A 12 to 18-month cadence isn't nice to have, it's the baseline. Final word. Tesla didn't lose for lack of tech, but for being slow in a hyper-flexible market. For UX distance where maximum localization is table stakes, and because policy scales tipped after the raise to slate cycle completed. To us, Tesla's story isn't a single company tragedy, it's a risk map for every American firm in the new competitive age. Tech plus supply chain plus rulebook.